Well, hi folks, here we are, Sunday, September 6th. Another sunny day on the island. It's all cool, trust everybody's well. Yesterday I had posted a couple links to Chrystia Freeland, our new finance minister in Canada. One was her speech on TED Talks, and the other was her interview with George Soros. And it's interesting, I placed those there just so one can get an idea what our finance minister is all about. And in her TED Talk, she comes off like she's a total socialist. But she's in the elite European meeting with Soros and everyone else. So I get the feeling that perhaps she's more like Trudeau. It's about control and manipulation more than anything else in their cases, but I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see what their budget later this month is all about. But one thing I noticed, she really didn't like the idea of the wealthy 1% and the oligarchs and all of this sort of thing. And yet, she indicated the way to solve that is to have more regulations, more rules, more this, more that, higher, more taxes. And it's an intriguing concept. It's a socialist sort of concept. And a lot of socialists don't like the idea of a lot of wealthy people out there. And I think that one of the reasons is they don't have the brass to go do it themselves, or the talent, or the energy, or what have you. But if you get into politics, you can control. You can be an oligarch with other people's money, with the taxpayers' money. I mean, that's what Trudeau does. I mean, he was inherited wealth to begin with, but I mean, for months there, he came out of his bedroom and handed out bags of money and like a big shot sort of thing. No debate, no parliament. And now that him and his cronies were sort of picked off in the Wee scandal, what do? They prorogue parliament and go into hiding so nobody can do any more research on that scandal. Hopefully the RCMP is checking through to make sure nothing illegal was sort of going on. Whether that happens, we're not sure. You trust that the police forces are above politics, but as you look around, look stateside, and in a sense, I suppose, we're not that much different here when it comes to that sort of skullduggery. So it's going to be interesting to see what Freeland's all about. How much money they're going to hand out, and she can play the role of a George Soros, handing out money to all these insurrectionists and all these crazy wacko groups. And if you haven't watched it, I'm going to put those two links on again. If you live in Canada, it's probably worth your while to watch these two things to get a feeling of what this lady's about. Make your own opinion, and because we may have to vote shortly. If that doesn't muster through the opposition, we could have an election in Canada as well. Although my feeling is that if they have a major swing in what their election platform was when they were elected to the minority, that anyone with decency would call an election. But I think he's too chicken shit to do that, because people will say, well, you shouldn't call an election, there's a pandemic and all this blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking the opposition are going to feel the same way. They don't want to have that finger pointed at them. So we may get stuck with a horrible budget, who knows? So I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, and the stupidity continues. And, I think there's little by little more people standing up and calling it what it is, stupidity. You just look stateside at the clown they call a mayor, and calls himself a mayor in Portland. Is it Wheeler? he's in charge of the police, sort of thing. He's in charge of shit, because look at what's happening. 100 days now of craziness. 100 days of craziness. And here's the sad thing about that. I mean, people are starting to think this is normal procedure. You know, just go out and do whatever you want. People have the right. They have the freedom. The freedom to assemble, the freedom to destroy, the freedom to disagree. But nobody else has the freedom to say, hey, stop that bullshit. It's... And hey, these are Democrats, folks. These are left-wing, liberal, socialist, Marxist, whatever you want to call them. And hey, we're the same up here with our government. So we don't have the street violence yet. Yeah, let's hope that that doesn't, that the live time doesn't sort of pop that kind of crap up here. Because you got to ask yourself, if you're having lunch on an outside deck and a bunch of yahoos come screaming in your face, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? I mean, that there's umpteen videos of people are sitting there taking that crap. And I think there gets to a point where someone has to stand up and do some jiu-jitsu work on these people. You know, you can grab a couple people by their thumbs in that famous lock, and you can dance them from here to hell and back, and they'll do whatever you say. So, but anyway, let's just not go there. Let's hope that that kind of craziness doesn't happen up here, because some people are going to get hurt. Not a cool stuff to talk about on Sunday, but sometimes you have to call it what it is. Stupidity. Total stupidity. Other than that, trust all is well. And I'll put those 2 links in. I might add a couple of others. And take care. We'll see you tomorrow.